Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower has fallen. Dire's bottom tower has fallen. Dire's bottom barracks are under attack.
Mega kill. Triple kill.
Dire's bottom barracks Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen. Dire's inhibitor is under attack. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban.
Templar is really love the combo. TA plus the Slaughter. You have like early roche taking abilities. Scales well.
Dire team
Force
ban.
just got it.
Pretty much, you definitely want a physical damage core with Slaughter.
Yeah.
If you're not getting EA, you want the Life Stealer, or the Life Stealer and the Rick ban last time when Slaughter was big. These are the kind of cores that sell with Slaughter.
We do have the respect ban on the bat, by the way, as well. That made Oracle second phase ban. In terms of core bans, though, compared to previous games,
10
it's not that much.
seconds
Like, there's a lot of options still there for both Dream
5
and
seconds
Speed.
I think that really favors Gambit because of how scary some of those are with Splatter. Like the Splatter last game, it felt like there wasn't a great partner for it. With the you want that corrosive partner, Life Stealer and Ricky's still in the pool. You've got carries, you've got the mid. I feel like whichever full damage core you gonna have a fantastic time.
One combo that I really like. Slaughter. That sick.
Dire
Not
team
sure if
pick.
it's doable here. They still need to wait a little bit. This pick, not sure. Play Windranger. FN, kind of new player, even though he's old. Was taking a break.
The kind of combination they'll end up getting with it.
I want to see Barania having
10
a
seconds
good
remaining.
early game. I feel like he can't play from
5
behind. He
seconds
feels a
remaining.
bit lost. The same thing happened. Qualifiers, they were just after that, it was like it fell apart.
Radiant team pick.
That was rough. After those losses, they game more during the qualifiers. Separation will cement Slaughter as a Gambit, so that will be Shacklo's hero, or at least as a core. You know, off chance that it's a Dream
Dire
Slaughter,
team
but you know, I've never really. Okay. And another Frosty hero,
Radiant
kind of
team
aggressive
pick.
mode. It is
Riki.
There's Slaughter partner, Ricky. True.
You like it?
Ricky always.
good.
It feels like you need 1-2 extra hits to get a kill. With Corrosive Haze, it's a guaranteed kill. Once he gets that diffuse
Dire
blade,
team
no one is
back.
safe, and they don't have any
In
kind
the
of
spirit.
like besides the frost armor from.
Radiant
Ricky,
team ban.
I play this or see. Feels like it should be really good against Dark. High base HP regen, very easy denies. To me, in my head, it just seems like a lane where Ricky.
Yeah, I mean, Darkster's not gonna the lane. You want a creep skip, which gives Nick has an ability to gain other lanes, and this is Ember Spirit into
10
Ricky.
seconds remaining.
He's not gonna have an easy time casting his spells.
No.
5 seconds remaining.
That's a questionable. That's some question marks coming out for you guys.
Sort of. I mean, the Ricky doesn't normally get the smoke cloud till pretty late, but yeah, once it comes online with Diffuse Blade, Ember has to play.
Going into an early beacon is not something.
No. Like you want to have early Force Staff on one of
Yeah.
These
to
heroes
get
don't
pushed
really
out of the focus.
they don't stuff either. Like Nick's can.
Nick's what they pick for their 5th pick. They had Lina in the previous game. Now they have Ursa into Slardar into Ricky. It's not a good matchup for Ursa. I guess they just want to go with comfortable heroes.
Yeah, not really the gotcha pick you kind of want to get at a point like this. Last pick is the Kunkka for Gambit. FN, we saw him play that earlier against B8. Looks very comfortable, but we also mentioned that he might not have been that much like tested in that game specific. You like the final pick? Like, is that a 10?
Yeah, I love
pick?
it. It's
Yeah.
a really sick
really
lineup from Gambit.
Yeah, I mean the Kunkka. The issue with these Splatter drafts where you get a physical damage carry is that you have no heroes like the Ricky, the Life Stealer. They have no team fights. Yeah, I think they kind of need to crush the lanes or like play very aggressive, go for a lot of kills. The Darkseer can help the Nyx just get around mid by playing alone, being self-sustained. It's not hopeless for aggressive mode, but they're going to have to play incredibly well.
We're gonna find out if they can play that well to force out the 3rd game. Let's head over to Cap and Kyle here.
Well, they played that well through some of the major qualifiers, but they're going to have to bring back that same kind of energy. And I've heard Spartan yelling already downstairs. He's done it twice now before a game in order to get themselves hyped up. A hard outdraft, Kyle. Do you agree?
We'll see. I mean, it's a bit better than the previous one. However, I would state that if he the first 2 games and they lost, I don't know if continuing that strategy is ideal. I feel like a little more composure could perhaps help this team because he's a little more complex. And let's just run at him and kill him. Take out Gambit.
Well, do you think they have something a little bit more complex here? The Ursa was not something I was quite expecting from aggressive mode, and as the panel kind of put it out, it's a little bit hard countered by a Kunkka, not just with the boat, but the Heaven's Halberd build as well.
And the X's as well. It just maybe I take it all back. I like Gambit's draft.
Okay.
And
now that you've gotten the chance to really look at it, break it down.
This is also such a good VP game. Oh my goodness, look at this.
Yeah.
All of these heroes hate playing against.
Very strong.
Limited catch
against the Ember in party.
I hated playing here. Still do. And this
30 seconds to dash.
We'll see what happens. But I think Skeeter's gonna have a hell of a game if aggressive mode are gonna take this one. I'm also really happy to see FNG on his Verition. I think this hero is still somehow underrated.
You know what's weird is that I'm pretty sure I'm not pretty sure. I know we watched a game in the major. Pretty sure it was in the playoffs. Don't know who it was. But there was a Riki on the enemy side, and they said, we're going to counter that with a Dark Spear. And they decided to try and play aggressively into this Riki, and it didn't work at all. Because Riki, high armor, and high regen. Like, he's able to tank creeps, no problem. And honestly, level 1 and level 2 of Darkseer isn't that big of a threat.
Well, you also have the bounce away, right? So even if you go on him, if he doesn't want to get aggressive, he just hops away to his support, and you're in trouble. Also, getting aggressive on AA is somewhat difficult. You can't kill clear creep waves up top, but you're not going to really be able to dive these guys.
All right, well, last time around we saw the Nixus app, they definitely started it off by cutting creep waves and pretty much dodging the Riki. Looks like this time they're going to try to fight the Riki in lane. We'll see if it works out for them. Other than that, our bottom lane, Slardar matchup. They do have a laning carry that might feel comfortable in a Slardar lane. I honestly don't know. I'm not sure if I've seen this matchup in the current meta. Slardar is easily the best off. But I imagine any melee somewhat of a difference.
Yeah.
Trades yes, and then all of a sudden he gets his 4th hit and he just bashes you.
Similar to Slark, right? It just can't really lane against a hero that always gets more damage. Straight up quick war. It'd be surprised Ursa like against the melee hero in lane. I mean, like what is Ursa?
Yeah.
Here got hit with the nerf hammer quite. I think the game just sort of passed by. Like Ursa used to be this hero that could like up the tempo. You get in a roche, something like that. But nowadays, that's kind of every hero that's played.
Like you're getting sort of lined up ahead of the medallion. You find a well-timed double damage rune. Yeah. Like in many ways, I see TA as being like the superior mid-game hero that does Roshan for you.
It's also the utility and the spread damage, right? I think that's another thing is the cores that solely deal single target. Everything's got in cleaves and you can farm ancients. Like what does Ursa do? Even farming, right? You don't have a natural tool. You kind of just have to run it. And I know. We'll see.
I mean, there is a lot of ways for them to run at enemies, especially with a little bit of a speed boost. Darkseer a lot more recently, ever since the Surge chain. That was the big chain. Made level 1 Surge actually useful because before it was just very weak movement speed buff.
Playing that first time without reading the chain. Tried to search myself. What is what? Because
it was like barely worth casting the spell.
It was one of those quick moments of feel the hubris, right? Because I'm like, oh, these idiots, you're not going to kill me. I'm a dark hero. Guess what? They got me.
They definitely killed you, huh? 2 lands done from Shachlo, and the bash is built up. So that's going to be your first blood, and possibly second blood. It's another round of Crush. Lands on a Spartan. I'm not sure where Grest both thought they were going to do that, but just like Spartan somehow thought that he was going to be able to kill Vampire.
Move. He's got this thing about dying.
He wants to die.
He's playing Oracle at all times.
Just listen to that logic song all day. Easy kill on the board, but FN being body blocked and stunned just enough with an Ion Shell as well. Lil, stay close to him. Stay close to him. You got him. Just stay on top of him. The Ion Shell will do its work. He's going to claim the last hit because it's Lil, and he wants that money.
That's really nice there. From the last one of my favorite versions. When you are with the Dark Spear, get a shell, TP in, almost always going to. Although, surprised, I think you can salve. Surprised he did. Try. I'm fairly certain you can salve through
level.
I think it's up to level 3 Ion. Only level 2.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I was surprised. Also, no point in Q. I know this seems to be the play, but I've seen some Ursas go like to their Q, E, and skip W.
Yeah.
I feel like it's weird just because you get on top of the ruby, you get Frost Shield, and you literally hop forward.
Yeah.
That was the spell that really got improved, whereas everything else got nerfed over time. Dream up top. Hidden is 6 doing farming very nicely up top. A lot of this dark yes,
Radiant are scattered.
Yeah, like we pointed out very early on, Riki, despite what your like preconceptions about Riki and like being a very poor laner, like no stats and stuff, like he's a much different hero now. That massive amount of regen that he has in lane, coupled with the fact that he has naturally high armor, means that he really can deal with the pressure of a Darkseer. Almost a problem. They're gonna try for it. Gonna make some moves here behind the tower. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Crush comes down. Skeeter taking a lot of damage. The bash has been built up, and he's gonna lay it on the Spark. Might be able to finish him off as Crush will do the trick. Meanwhile, Skeeter thought he could wrap around and maybe kill Vampire, but the two of them just together as much as possible.
That cold feet, horses.
Radiant's middle tower is under
He's got
attack.
a buzz on out of there. Gene's gonna and be trouble. Oh, I gave him the tango too for it. It's something I'd like to see more 5s do. I know No Tail really stresses this. Part of the reason it's so good at Prophet. You effectively act as a courier core.
Oh yeah.
And buying themselves, right? Like it not only saves the gold, but you also then increase their time on map. They don't have to heal, they don't have to regen, they don't have to go hide somewhere. They're just strong in lane, which then also denies the enemy resources. Very, very valuable.
Means a lot of times that like just dying on a support in lane can actually be kind of good, just because your safe lane carry is going to get level 6 that much faster. For some heroes, that turns the phase around entirely.
Yeah, there's good deaths and bad deaths. Bad ones are when your demise is inevitably like losing creep waves. But if you die and then you just effectively get a free fountain trip, come back with items, and carry doesn't have to leave the lane, like that's optimal.
Yeah. You'll see sometimes like supports just get really aggressive at times, trying to trade out kills just because it's time for that kind of rotation. They do manage to land that impale, but I don't think on shot flow with Skeeter being so low, he's always low in this lane. Shot flow is still going to be in trouble with the Ion Shell, but both coming in and land on a Spartan, instantly killing him and pushing Lil deeper into the enemy side. Now he's going to be pulled back in by an extra shot flow sits up. Done, double kill for FN. A nice rotation.
It just once again feels like Gambit, as we approach the mid game, are going to be significantly stronger. Tankier cores, this Punka pick, love it. Not only active, it can provide.
Wow, that was enough.
That was great.
Skylark thought he could teach TP away in time, but Dream now level 7 on his Riki, has 2 Wraith Bands and Dreads.
I am not feeling the love in a more aggressive mode. This is not looking good. Specifically, the Ursa. As we said, he needed to have a hell of a game to find impact here. He is currently sitting in 3rd place on his team, barely above his 4 position. Ember just got... There's just what... Fight, right? That's the issue for aggressive mode. They once again have a balanced lineup. They want to be playing around all of their cores, right? You have Darkseer, Ember Spirit. But you can't do that if your cores aren't strong enough. Whereas Gambit, Riki's going to farm. Punka Slardar are going to stand in lanes and eventually kill people with their stuns. And there's just no real recourse unless you out-rotate, which is difficult when you don't have towers. You don't have enough items on the first place.
I mean, then he won the lane. He made a better rotation into bottom, and now he's even got stacks thanks to FNG clearing him in time to get the neutral items as well, so they're going to get almost all their neutrals away.
Interesting, you know, FNG did this last game too, when he was playing Bat Rider.
This
This is really cool. This is the second time now.
bottom tower
And as you
is
said,
under
like,
attack.
you
The stacking for
Yeah,
FN.
and notably, they don't take the stacks ever until after 7 minutes.
Yeah.
So they effectively just farm all of their neutral items, and now suddenly, you know, it's one out of your entire team.
Yeah, if your 5 position gets enough experience, then maybe he doesn't need the tome. You give that over to your 4. He gets a fast, maybe level 6, maybe even level 7.
That's cool. You can see it's 4 neutral items to 1.
Yep. And that's a significant power spike. They do have Ion Shell time. Both of these cores are very strong with an Ion Shell on them, but...
Is Ursa laning here, or
I don't
was this
know.
the gank? This is just what happens, I guess, if you're up against this Flardar and you get bullied so hard.
I mean, yeah, Skeeter decided he didn't want to be in that bottom lane, but I'm
I don't blame
surprised that Darkseer still came up here after Skeeter made that rotation. Now they're going to swap over.
Man, playing Darkseer in this... You apply pressure, but what inevitably happens is some 14 people collects 3-3 waves and go to the jungle.
Yeah.
You want to be applying pressure to the enemy side to force them to remain their half of the map. instead, it's, yeah, Shackle's just going full creep wave.
It's like a bit like a beast, and that your laning phase, your successful laning phase, needs to turn into enough pressure. They take the tower, and then that is really how you get an advantage with that offense. If you're not able to do that, okay, a kill on a Dream would be massive, but he does have a way to be able to jump into the high. Like there is going to be a torrent boat coming in, but they had the range to be able to bring down that Riki on the cliff. Here comes the last part. Maybe sniped out here. In fact, he is, and these heroes don't have stun to be able to stop the TP wave from the company.
And yeah, it's fine.
Gotta be careful with that bashes. Skylark. He's just gonna have to rotate out of base here.
I love Ocean Heart.
Yeah.
You just super speed through the river, and then it also acts as a mini fountain.
Yeah, the Ocean Heart was probably one of the worst items on the initial release of neutral items, and they buffed up the regen amount, so now it becomes such a value item for any time you spend.
I watched tops and full mid and just spread
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Always in the water.
Yeah.
Always regenning up, always max HP. A big smoke coming in from aggressive mode.
Again, it's the same previous game.
Radiant
Smoke at them,
structures
man.
are fortified.
Go get them, guys.
And once again, there are some heroes that are significantly hard to track down. As a sprint away from Shotslow, now he's going to turn back on the Spartan here. Fortunately, there's the stun, but Dream, who escaped away into the trees, pops back out. Now going to look at the Amber Spirit as well. Throws a haze on him. Dream has another Blink Strike up. That's so much damage, man. But to be that impale, allowing him to escape. But again, this all started with a 4-man smoke. You lost the support, your cores are forced away from the lane, you didn't do anything to stop Gambit. Gambit continued to farm your lane, your jungle.
Dire's middle
All that's really
tower is
happening
under
is Peter is farming top.
Mighty rune of haste.
Thing as well, you know, getting not here, FN standing in for, but so far it feels like it's just no real change in the play style, and much like
Radiant's bottom
was,
tower
top
is under attack.
both games.
What did he manage to steal there? Vendetta. He actually get it off away from the chains. He might be able to escape, but they still have the visions down. Late out of Sentry. Trade out supports though. Bora, a little bit low, has to jump himself away. Peter Light starts laying some damage onto FN. Pops and Rage. Third, he's able to get away from the both, but you can see how tanky FN is to these assassin-type heroes like this Ursa wants to quickly kill somebody. Shotslow getting caught here, goes into the river, sprints down, he's going to be fine, pulled back in on a Darkseer. Cold feeded it really well, aggressive mode. They're left with just nothing in their hands here. They want to be able to run the enemy, but they don't feel super confident about the fight. They're going to be able to get a rid of the chains here with the chain frost as well. Bouncing back on FNG, finishing him off, but there's still Dream alive. He's doing so much damage to Skeeter. Skeeter going to turn and fight it. Nice 2-man torrent though, landing onto the two of them. Looks like Dream will be able to get away. The stolen chain frost lands on the Skeeter, finish him off. Meanwhile, Skylar's going to be chased by that Riki, who's able to play the fights on just 200, 300 HP, but still output tons of damage.
Oh yeah, it's just dread things. That corrosive goes on. The backstab amplifier is like basically physical. It's just physical damage. So it's just damage galore. Stolen as you said, and what
Dire's
it
middle
just
tower
doesn't
is
feel like
under
aggressive
attack.
mode has a plan
Radiant's
developed
top
further
tower
than
is
their
under
team
attack.
main. It's just effectively go aggressive and hope that it works out. But you can't run at Kunkka AA Riki route. Like, this is not gonna work out for you. You gotta try and catch them off guard. We saw that with the smoke bottom, right? They got wise. The moment Slardar turns and looks like he's ready to fight you, hope you've got it back. You're not gonna win a 5-on-5. You gotta play away from this Kunkka somehow and make moves independently.
And they're losing this very critical timing where Ember Spirit is very strong with Flame Guard and Ion Shell maxed out.
Yeah.
It's just this lawnmower of damage. You just output so much, but they're losing all these fights.
The thing is, it's the same reason I've always loved to, again, left that.
Almost hit him.
When you have purely like spell-based damage, notably the Ion Shell shield combo, you can't really, there's nothing you can do to do more damage. So the Kunkka Rum effectively makes, like, they know that you're not going to be able to kill them. It's very easy to tell when you're in danger or not. and you just kind of stand and fight. Not enough DPS. So to your point, there really isn't that power spike that he's hoping for. Dream's got Refusal, and now the Cloud finally leveled up, so that's the kill.
And if they get out of the Cloud, they'll still be pulled back in by the X, so they take the Darkseer's life. Stack.
Radiant's middle tower is
I've
under
picked
attack.
Ursa a couple pubs, so never do that again. This is the problem with these heroes nowadays that can't recover. We saw it with Alina in the previous game. Yeah, now with this Ursa, if your only hope is to be ahead of the enemy, fall behind, kind of feels bad. That's the way to put it. I've been in this game.
I think I saw Nip in Ursa at this tournament. They used to.
Radiant's top tower is
Peter
under
was on the
attack.
team well. Hasn't really been winning a whole lot here. Shot though. Sprint. Okay, there's going to be change. Actually thought they need something like that, but Taco's still alive. He's going to pop his one. He's going to be okay. Now the boat's going to come in. Controlling up that Ursa. Still a chain cross in the back line. Bouncing onto his first 4 different times and actually killing him in the end. Meanwhile, chain stolen by the Rubik now. Puts it onto the Ember Spirit, allowing Shotflow to be able to get the back and finish him off. Now let's turn to Skylark. Double kill for Dream. 4 dead on the side of aggressive mode, while Skeeter limps away, the last alive for this team that is now down 12k net worth, 5 to 20. This is just a massacre, Kyle.
It is indeed Cap. Series this far feels very one-sided. Gambit coming out of the gate incredibly strong. Like the way they've drafted, like the way they've been playing, but I will say aggressive mode, it does feel like both games, they just aren't playing with the same level of Dota
Radiant's
IQ.
middle
Gambit
tower is
reading
under
their
attack.
movements like a book, and I haven't seen Gambit make a move that's failed, with the exception of diving the fountain, which traditionally does not work out well.
It's a hard strategy deck.
It's another remark on like your moves are always working and you make them. A lot of teams have the tendency to just try and do too much.
Dude, nobody wants to fight this Florida right now. The difference is, you know, last game, aggressive mode had a Slardar as well, and nobody really wanted to fight into him at this point. But Gambit actually have the catch to ensure fights around that floor.
Yeah. And once again, they're in control of the vision. An Invis hero, Slardar. I want to talk about vision as a concept because these tanky, high-strength heroes are tools that provide vision. And if you don't have one, it's much harder to play the game. Think about the aggressive mode heroes, right? Who can actually just be in a lane, right? And see an enemy hero and stay there. You know, just the presence of enemies makes you afraid because you're all these elusive survival types. Whereas Gambit, you're just two strength here in your side lanes, and then the other core is invisible. So it's just easier to play Dota. You don't have to be as afraid. That's the key to surviving in any war.
Not being afraid?
Actually, I'd say it's the argument. I think a lot of those movies went a lot faster. People got scared and were like, hey, let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah. Pretty sure fear is a survival.
It's a really good book about that. Gift of Fear. Don't ignore your instinct. The whole book, though. So, you know, if you just do that, the idea being that, like, you ever feel like really uneasy, like something bad's about to happen? It probably is. And there's something in you that's just that knows subconsciously. It's a long way. Never mind.
I told you that story about that woman show. My house at 3 a.m.
Oh yeah.
I had an uneasy feeling about that one.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Now they're all on the edge of their seat.
The TLDR is that someone showed up at my apartment at 3 a.m. in the morning, asked me to be let in. Said they were running from a group of men. Turns out the group of men were cops.
They wasn't lying.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower.
Was lying. You're right.
And you call the police, and they're like, "What's your funny story about her, actually?" Where are you looking? Oh man.
Well, aggressive mode. They've been doing a lot of running this game. First half, it was running at Gambit. Then they lost a lot of fights, and now they're running away from Gambit. Time. As you can see, Bora, who's just trying to cut creep waves as much as possible and find farm where he can, but as soon as too many heroes show up, he has to run away. Yeah. And I'm not sure, like, when they can reach a power spike that turns this game around, because these heroes were momentum.
I almost want to pause right here.
Yeah.
Look at the map. Look at the mini-map. Gambit's 5 heroes in a line throughout the map. And then you have aggressive mode effectively using the lanes as their only method of travel.
Yeah.
All on their side of the river. Now, of course, they're moving out because the smoke. You're going to try and stick the road. You got to make this kind of play behind, but you can just see Gambit are playing in so many different places at once with no fear, both because of the advantage and just the way that draft works. See if they're going to AA all
Hey, this is cool, right? So they're being really aggressive. Oh no, the courier! Oh no! It showed off the roast on, and now they're gonna have to leave. The man likes to fight. Gotta give him that much.
I want him in my corner. I would get in trouble in the bar.
Yeah. Bart won't back down.
No way.
No matter how big the other guy is. As you can see, with that Lich versus Roshan 1v1. The funny part is that aggressive mode was playing really aggressive on the bottom lane, showing their next assassin and such. This is what Lil does. Lil's literally hitting the tower saying, hey, come bottom lane, come kill me, come kill me. Because he's like, my team's gonna take Roshan. First part is, he does this, beating in order to open up Roshan for them, and they don't even take it.
And just to tell the tale of how this game's gone, it's 6 minutes past tier 2 neutral.
Is Riki trying to solo Roshan right now? I think with his Manta, he's trying to solo Roshan. And I mean, it's OG. Looking like it. What's the base will make it.
Really cool. I love the Manta.
Generation.
Especially against the Ember Dark.
Yeah. Manta, just always nice if you don't have any sort of cleanse against dust.
Radiant's middle tower is
And on
under
top of
attack.
that, if you got something that aims to be able to even sicker. While they were doing that, Roshan, FN was just boldly hitting the tier 2 because he's got Salvage, Bracer, Strength Thread, and an ace. So he's damn near impossible to bring down unless it's 5 heroes focusing on him for like 10 seconds.
Radiant's middle tower
And
has
again, aggressive mode have no other big timing.
And it's, again, look at where they're standing. 3 in the base,
Yeah.
1 hiding in trees.
Yeah.
Dire's
Either
structures are
farming
fortified.
bottom desperately.
They're literally just waiting for Gambit to
Radiant are
throw.
scanning.
Well, hey, to be fair, they have proven that they're willing to do that.
Okay. True. So the next play is just to leave like a line of heroes. You know, like
Yeah.
a trail of breadcrumbs leading
All the way-
back to the fountain.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah. Just that last bread needs to be Skeeter inside of his
Radiant's bottom
fountain,
tower
ready to
is
go
under
within
attack.
rage. Well, Boris almost got Crystalist. And oh, never mind. Yule Scepter actually onto the Riki will allow him to get out of the smoke cloud and
Radiant's
away to his
bottom
remnant.
tower has
Much
Still
fallen.
kind of
But that's like Riki.
Oh, no! The no!
Transcends
He just saw his life flash before his eyes. This icy explosion in front of him. Bottom lane, they're gonna go on this Dark Seer telekinesis. They wait for the telekinesis to reposition before Xing him just to get the maximum amount of repositioning on Skylark here. They're gonna be able to burst him down pretty easily with that combination. Meanwhile, FNG is not so easy to bring down as the Ember Spirit being controlled up. Fortunately, is gonna be able to Yule and Sleight of Fist until he jumps up to his remnant. Still though,
Radiant's
nothing
bottom
to
tower
stop
is
Gambit.
under attack.
He's their full fight.
Radiant's
They approach
structures
the high
are
ground.
fortified.
They do not have much base damage, though, and look, he's getting top creep wave.
That is a dead creep wave right there. It's not actually. Couldn't even go. Doesn't care. Oh, he should start carrying. Go. Green doesn't care. He's just gonna stand there with Torch dagger, ready to kill the Ember Spirit, and goes back.
No beef on this draft.
Yeah.
They just throw out spells. Anyone targeted has to run away. No one's got the opportunity to stand in front.
Yeah, the only real beat they have is this Ursa, but as soon as he loses his enraged, he is so squishy. Chain Frost bouncing into 2 cores. Dream doesn't really seem to care that it keeps on hitting FN. After all, Dream, he has the Aegis, and FN, well, he's got enough HP for 3 heroes, so.
Now, that Ursa's not beef. That is so good.
And he's not much of a bear either.
Tier 3, it's going to be Iraq. Stolen wall green. Ooh, like the snow gate.
Radiant's bottom barracks are
I've
under
been
attack.
playing a lot in Warcraft 3.
Radiant's bottom
I heard it wasn't great.
It's terrible. It's a Blizzard just trying to make money so that they can have more money. You got to act. However, if you want to hire me for something, sure, I never said that.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Some Blizzard execs listen to that, and then Kyle says, I never said it. Oh, okay. Wow.
Hey, it works for politics.
You never said that. And Dream throw away his Aegis. He may have. That sheer force and such. Oh, nice hit from FN. Gets the double kill on Tweeter, who still remains stunned. Sion is found as well. Okay. The trail of breadcrumbs was almost complete. 4 heroes leading back into the fountain. The problem is their 5th hero is not here. Skylark is not in the fountain. He's in the neutral. The jungle.
30. Is Galactus. It's over. The throne's dying, guys. Get in there.
Go fight! FNG needs a little bit low. Maybe they can actually kill him 4 tries, but until telekinesis and then a boat. Easily chasing him down. The boat landing on 3 heroes. Dream, FN, have payday here. Clean up. Let's get another rampage. Joey, Dream just needs 1 more. Easy way to clean up the series 2-0 against the Crest.
And then with a home crowd like that one, I heard FNG pop off a little bit. Got a smile on his face. Really nice plays from them. One of those teams, I just got so much respect for FNG to come back out of a semi-retirement as a caster, now to be arguably the best captain in CIS, leading his team now to an upper bracket match against the Virtus Pro. The hometown heroes. Wait, no he's not. I'm wrong. That's not who they're gonna play, I don't think. But they won.
Meanwhile, aggressive mode, if I think you were on that panel, right? If you're talking about, oh, maybe
Because since they did change 2 players, they're playing with Kuman because he came benched, and they're playing with Zayach as their new addition since the Major. Major, you might remember, they were the ones coming back from a 60k lead, and they were the ones not ending the game then as well against Team Liquid that time. So they ended last at the Major, and they weren't even in the Chengdu Major at all. It was actually Gambit that represented PIS in the Chengdu Major, and Gambit that came last at that one. But this iteration of Virtus Pro seems a lot stronger. They seem to do a lot better than what they did before.
I think that they also have the benefit of time, right? I'm really close with Resolution. We had a really rocky the off lane because that entire hero pool was new to him, right? So style of the off lane has also changed a bit. So it went from like these, like, now you're brawling, previously like your creep waves, now there's stuff like meta. So he does a lot better on cores like Enchantress because they're like traditional heroes. Lane in a traditional manner.
5 seconds
Heroes like Darkseer, Tidehunter, these require a little more practice than just plug and play.
You need the offlane specialist to do the weird stuff that some of those require.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think he's getting better. I'm still not sold on him as an offlaner.
Neither am I. I tell him that, and he says, yeah, me too.
But you get to play with solo and no one, so he's not going to turn it down, maybe.
Hey man, as long as he's not replaced, you know he's doing something right. That's how things like that work. He's got to keep trying. It's not like he is not the type of player that's just gonna give up or anything like that. And like so he's gonna keep working. He is a hardworking player, if nothing else, and he will.
Oh yeah. He has one of the best attitudes as well of a player. I'm a bit biased, of course, because I am his friend, but he's done a lot of personal growth. I feel like a lot of people forget. I forget sometimes about the age of a lot of these guys. Like Rezo is still what, 22, 23? I've forgotten. There you go. And then there's other players like Insania, who, because I played with and against him 8, 9 years ago, I still see him as like a 17-year-old kid. In reality, it's like he's an adult. Weird. Got facial hair.
How did it came to Insania? What point are you trying to make?
Remaining.
Oh, Resolution's just young. He was young, all right? He became a superstar like overnight. You know, he had to iron out some stuff. His English also improved drastically.
Like that was a crazy transformation.
Playing on these Western teams.
Turn to ban.
Really opened that up a lot.
Yeah, and you know why he initially started learning English, right?
To play Dota.
He didn't want to play in a CIS.
He did. He wanted to play in a puppy squad.
Oh.
So he's like, if you want to be in a puppy squad, you're gonna be, you know, internationally covered. So he's like, I'm gonna learn English so that I can get to be on a.
That's what I mean. How
like that was
he learned a language.
Yeah.
To pursue the career. Like, come on, that's a man with dedication.
Remaining.
I'll never forget. We crazy how things might have been different, but at TI5 he had approached me to play because he wanted to come into NA, and we set up a meeting. Miscommunicated or something. Never actually met.
Team ban.
And nothing came of it. So we lost.
Who did you have instead?
I don't want to. I was way too sexy and MJW.
Those are names that like 95% of our viewers are just like, what?
What?
Who?
Yeah. we went through a phase. Well, I still think like, no matter what happens the rest of my life, man. Made it to TI5. That was a shit show. 44 different players over a 5-month period. We had BSJ and IX Mike poached from our team.
Oh no.
Like, think about that. Think about that.
That was my first thought. I was like, all right, I thought that the punchline was going to be you had them on your team.
We did, well, and they didn't think we were good enough. No, sorry, it was, no. IX Mike said in a few years we might be good, and he didn't want to play with us. And then he made a team, and BSJ was playing with us, and IX Mike poached BSJ, and he picked IX Mike and Jimmy.
Yeah. There was a time where, you know, BSJ was that next big star of NA. Like, February, not even making any jokes about him. He was looking like the next big star.
February 2015, Dumail won the North American NA. In March, was then picked up by EG. BSJ won.
did he end up getting picked up by?
Dire team
His
up by
ego grew
He was
significantly.
playing on
Unfortunately,
Summer's-
this
Summer's Rift, remember, with Jimmy? Oh, they were top 2, top 3 on A team at one point, maybe.
All right,
Not for
guys.
long.
I am enjoying the trip down memory lane for sure. I'm also enjoying the draft. We have seen Gambit have the Rubik Witch Doctor combination work. FNG, but that was one of the games that they weren't really
10
tested. So I'm
seconds
curious
remaining.
how Virtus Pro is going to react to, because they played this
5
against Bait
seconds
with the Pango as well. They had Pango and Shaklo that time. It was a Ricky as well. Ricky is banned, but that was this is a very familiar draft for them.
And VP would have watched those games, so they kind of know what's coming. How the Witch Doctor plays. Very good hero. Death Ward work. About the untouchable. Very strong link. That point in Maledict at level. I think it's okay Gambit to stick with the way it looked around it. Incredibly solid.
They also, for Virtus Pro, they played Doom yesterday. That was the only game they lost today. Played Doom mid. No one playing Doom. Are we is that something that again?
Probably not.
Probably not. But they
Never know.
You never know. I guess Rezo can play it too. Fine.
It's flex. It can even be a support.
Yes.
VP have run as a 5 even.
Dire
Bolo will
team
randomly
pick.
play when he feels like it suits the game.
You know what? Yeah, we were asking if the crowd was going to be backing Virtus Pro, the recent drama, being the bad guy, and the Virtus Pro chants have just begun. So I think we got our answer.
hey, they're bad, not evil, though. Could be
True.
EG.
Centaur already revealing
10
early that this
seconds
Doom is
remaining.
not an offlaner because you want Centaur to be that
5 seconds
that offlaner.
remaining.
Who are they louder for?
VP.
Not surprised.
I mean, VP has been the household name in CIS Dota for the last years, basically.
Yep.
Yeah.
They've been holding it up since Navi's
Yep,
decline.
took the torch straight from Navi. Curious to see who will be the ones to take it up, because the whole scene really has faltered. VP really propped up the scene. Without them on top, it's a much weaker region.
Yeah.
Virtus Pro.
Be entering an era where there's multiple strong CIS teams, because we were propping it up, but
Dire
best
team
CIS team over the last couple of years, I mean, it kind of fluctuated between Gambit, Navi, Empire, etc. They were never competitive. I don't think there was a major where a second CIS team ever got top 8.
That's true. I think, yeah, you're correct.
And that is a really cool snap pick. Morphling, it is a hero. It is an incredible matchup here. And got a star in front of
10 seconds
really stick here.
remaining.
Hard countered the life stealer. VP.
5
Probably hero
seconds
for Ramses,
remaining.
right?
Well, shit. I answered yes because yes, it is for Ramses, but I know Ramses isn't playing for VP. Who is it a comfort hero for? Gods, who's playing carry for VP?
Kuman?
You sure?
I don't know if it's... I actually don't know if it's a cover hero for Kuman. That's why I'm asking you, because I'm is it a cover hero for Kuman?
It's Morphling. If you're a carry player and you can't play, Blitz can
yeah,
play
but
Morphling.
is
Is it a
but
comfort
is it-
hero?
is it
I
like his
actually
bread
don't
and
know.
butter?
I don't know if that's actually his hero, but I'm being totally honest.
It might not be
Concept?
bread and butter. It's at least cereal. It's close.
Yes, that's not
Okay.
the question though. The question is, but
But when you said it was
regardless-
a comfort hero for VP, you were just talking out of your ass, Kyle, just to clarify.
No, it's Morphling. It's VP. It's one of their most picked carry heroes.
yeah, when they have Ramses,
It's solo and no one still. It's
Okay.
the same people,
Sure.
and no one could play at mid. He's done it before.
that
So
is
comfort
true.
hero for
Coming at
VP
me.
as
When no one played more, it was not one of the best Virtus Pros results, by the way. Just pointing that out there as well.
10 seconds
We got a
remaining.
final ban. It is a
Virtus
Zyrex
Pros
tree that gets
turn to
removed
pick.
on the set of
Dire
Gambit,
team pick.
and a Queen of Pain ban into a Razor pick for Virtus Pro.
Yep, there's another counter to the Lifestealer. Excellent matchups in lane as well. And if you look at the way a team fight's going to play out from VP, right? You've got Centaur to both engage or disengage. Razor links Lifestealer, and someone gets doomed. Now what? Their team fight is unbelievable, right? Lane's quite strong as well.
10
the
seconds
lifesteal does
remaining.
a tiny bit better against Razor these days. I feel you get all these proc items, so you can still do stuff while
5
you have
seconds
no damage.
remaining.
You got the Maelstrom, you get the Basher. You're not totally useless, but it's not great.
So what does Gambit need to solve the problems that Virtus Pro has thrown at them?
A mid that does damage. Since lifesteal, you can't rely on this lifesteal to do damage in these.
Is a Mars
Is it
an answer?
Select
Is
your
Pango
heroes.
versus Razor
I mean-
matchup? Swashbuckle away
Oh, yeah,
with
that-
static link?
That's a mid-Mars. That's the CIS special.
Okay.
I almost guarantee it. And I love the hero. It's similar in a lot of ways to old Tiny Mid, how that used to be played. You just kill, strong laner, you kill stuff. Same idea. You put down the ring. Its only weakness, of course, is that don't have anything against BKBs. And you really don't now, because Mars is completely worthless. You just run straight out of the
update.
arena. What's up?
Mars will be played by Shaklo, and FN will be the Pango.
As I was saying, the Pango mid matchup versus the Razor. Running Mars mid versus Razor comp, probably not a good idea.
That's a good point.
But that's also why you ended up in wildcards and TI not getting any prize money. We're all coming full circle here.
Do you need anybody else, like any other heroes that you're curious about who's playing what? Because I got some info for you if you do.
Sure.
So on the center, Zayat Doom.
Oh yeah.
So no one Doom,
So
no one would
5
be the
position
Razor, but I guess with the Razor
Okay.
pickup, we already knew that. Solo Enchantress, 5 Enchantress. The rest is as you would expect it. That does lead me to one final question. What is important for this game? We're thinking, the way that you guys were talking about the draft, you're giving Virtus Pro the edge from the get-go. But what does Gambit need to do in order to have a good game?
They've got to beat the BKB time and get a distinct advantage for the Razor. In addition, take good fights around the arena and ensure Lifestealer gets off to a really... You need Lifestealer to be an item ahead of up or super.
I sense a connection between
I see,
us.
like more of what we had in the last series.
Prepare
He was
for
the
battle.
stand-up player.
Yeah.
He's playing this mid Pango. That's a hero that can get very active, makes it on the map. Look to FN to
Don't be mad. Don't be mad.
All right, let's find out what's going to happen in the first game of the series.
Thank you very much, Kiva. Yes, quite an exciting one to end the day off, of course. The CIS showdown, Gambit versus Virtus Pro. I'm Odie Pixel, joined by Lizard for this this great series ahead of us. We've had a few sort of one-sided stomps and sort of off games so far today, but surely this series is going to deliver.
I'm pretty sure this series should be the longest one of the day, maybe even go all the 3-game stretch, because not only do we have two teams that are similarly matched in skill, there's so much drama as well involved,
yeah.
right? There's that spiciness, and
There is.
they have so much
30
energy.
seconds.
But
And we saw, on stage, they kept it all very cool, very nice. There were smiles, there were handshakes. But, you know, like,
Yeah, nah.
both of these teams are going to try the hardest to beat the other. Now, there's a lot to sort of be said here for who's able to prove themselves the best on sort of a land store. We saw it on, like, qualifiers, groups. This is them on the main stage and ready to go head-to-head in a best-of-3.
yeah, I suspect Virtus Pro might use some hashtag free PK if they win and just spam it.
The
But
battle begins.
what do you think about these drafts? So far, I feel that both of these teams, they have like some good winning potential and winning scenarios, right? On one side, you have the Snipes and FN on his Pango. They've done fairly well, but on the other hand, you're playing into your counters, aren't you? You're playing Morphling versus Nikes. That's not good for Nikes. And you're playing Razor versus Pango mid.
No.
Yeah, you can swashbuckle away, but
Yeah.
it's not a great lane.
Yeah, I think I'd have to agree. I'm looking at them more for the Razor, and I'm feeling that down the line, if these heroes don't get crushed early on, they're just going to be able to outcarry the cause of Gambit. Gambit's got to make sure that they have that edge early on. They are going to hit their timings at a better pace, I feel. You sort of look towards this Pango. If he's able to start moving around with his first offensive item, FN is able to make those sort of plays, as the panel says. You know, Gambit can start to roll over them, but if this game gets to any sort of passive territory, if VP come out of the lanes in a strong position, you're right, this Morph Razor is going to be hot going into the later portion of the game.
One good thing that Gambit have done in the drafting stage is this Mars versus the Centaur. It's considered one of the better heroes versus him. Shachlo can definitely play a mean Mars. So perhaps if this lane goes well for them, they stand a chance. For me, it's looking like a rough matchup overall.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how well he's able to play this lane against the Morph. I feel that the Mars should have that edge right in the lane. You're this very sort of strong hero. Anytime Morph steps up, there is that threat of being nuked pretty heavily by the two of them, even with the Fade and such. And especially if Shashlo's ever able to get that angle, catch Kuman out before he shifts. Killing it does feel hard because the Morph should most of the time be able to react. Maybe once like the level 2's there, try and get in, set up with a telekinesis from the tree line, and that's followed up by a spear, giving no chance for the ship to start on the Morph. But we'll see. Gambit's definitely got that synergy, that ability to make, if anything, you're just going to expect to see Kuma never get too heavily shifted into AD. He's going to make sure he's got a decent amount of strength so he doesn't get burst by that combo in lane.
I think Zayat as well, we saw him right now on that Doom. He ate a lot of damage from the Maledict, but he has a lot of regen from level 2, and also he ate the Volt. This guy found a really good creep. I think some Doom players might prefer the Ogre Frost Mage for that armor, but man, Zayat, he's so aggressive. If he finds that Wolf, he's going to be rotating across the map, making a lot of moves. Yeah. He starts with boots as well, as you can see. Not your usual, a lot of regen on your position for Doom. He really wants to get in, wants to dive.
Yeah, I like it. You consider how we saw Zayat's play yesterday. He had some amazing movements during the laning stages in Game 1 and Game 3 of their series against, I believe it was Nigma. Yeah, Nigma in that series, of course. Playing his like his disruptors, his shakers. Heroes, I'd say, probably a little easier to sort of, yeah, have that impact in the lanes, but you're right, with the right sort of aura he has, he can certainly pack quite a punch, and he can, depending on where he wants to head in the laning stage of this game.
I would expect something like Phase Boots drums on him, Phase Boots buckler, I think armor on this Doom, and suddenly you can dive the tower. Those two chainmails are really amazing on this hero. Now, there is Nyx versus Centaur, and that's Nyx's favorite lane, so because of that, he's having a few CSs more, but still is an offlane Centaur, and Rezo is fine with that.
Yeah, pretty much lanes, and even just the mid lane where there's that edge of the Razor, sure. It's easy to say that Swashbuckle, he can break the link, but Razor, he's such a strong laner in these 1v1s, you are going to be able to come out on top, even though there's that mechanic for FN to play around with.
That was a good play. Did you see that? He used the Divine Protection on the creeps, and now FN, even though he used Swashbuckle, he didn't get that range creep, and then, because of that usage of Swashbuckle, he can't approach the lane, and a lot of denies go the way of no one.
Yeah, he's playing the lane very nicely, no one. I mean, yesterday we saw him play the lane spectacularly in those mid matchups against Weeha. He was consistently sort of coming out on top in these 1v1s. Anytime you put him on the zero where his ability to have that edge, he's gonna execute. He's getting himself really back on that top form that we've seen from no one in the previous past.
I mean, it's not fun after all. Yeah. It's been ages since whatever mid laner you ask who you don't want to play against, they will definitely manage to hold.
And try and burst him down, not quite enough fire in the tank between the two of them to get the kill. He will be fine. And in this lane continues to be a bit of a trade farm. Shasha 25 for 5, but there's 23 for 1 on Kuma. And it's still great farm for the Morph early on. Mid lane, no one posturing very aggressively, getting behind the tower, really forcing FN back, making sure that some creeps are lost to the tower, and FN is entirely out of XP range. So Na'Vi needs to be playing beautifully aggressive in this matchup.
He maxed out the nuke, right? Dream? Yeah, he should be fine. He maxed out the nuke, and because of that, he just dives the tower, does not even use the link, forces FN completely out that experience range.
Dream will be able to push him away from the bouncer room, so he won't be able to claim the two on that top half. And Gambit are at least able to grab that one for themselves.
I think overall the lane right now has been alright for Gambit. They haven't lost it at all. They're winning when it comes to network. I think this Mars did quite alright, but FN, they're shining stars so far.
Yeah, we've got to see what he can do, because he's not at a, it's been a tough lane for him, as expected, because of the matchup, but he's still getting something, and he can still make plays. He hits that 6, he starts moving around the map, he gets sort of that first time, whether it be the Javelin that he wants to rush, and you have a lot of killing potential and a lot of ways to really keep the pressure on these heroes Morphling, who are going to need time before they become scary themselves.
My only question is, you are on a timer, right? You don't want to really go late game versus a Morph.
Not at all.
And how do you take these objectives early on? Maybe with a rotation like this?
First down, we've got the Maledict, and the Swashbuckle should easily be enough damage to take down no one. Bring pause there, but he may go down for it. In fact, no one. Oh, he'll take that. 1 versus 3. He claims the first blood. He does die, but he takes the lion's share of the gold there. As you can see, 325 with that first blood going the way of no one. So, yeah, a successful gag. Not really for Gambit. Yeah. They get a kill, but they give up first blood. No one's fine with it. It gets a free lane reset as well.
Free lane reset, 325 gold. Yeah. That's more than they got for that skip. And if you see of them, Mars might fall, however, on that other lane as well.
Dude, I mean, I've got to be honest. This is not great for Gambit. It's sure the numbers are even, but as we say, with these drafts, because of these they're going to be pretty happy. If they can do this the second time, this could be pretty nice. They're going to have TP backup coming in, but is there really any sort of help that can be there for no one? There is not. He will fall, and now FN, he can roll over and look for a second kill as he's straight over to Zayas, picks that up as well. Gambit this time, it's clean. 2 kills, no casualties on their half. FN, he's the man you've got to watch. He's the one that's going to be setting the tempo for Gambit and starting to amp it up and make sure that VP's playing on the back foot.
And it's so good that they get 2 kills successively on that Razor, because you talked about that earlier. It is that Razor that's supposed to be carrying this team throughout the mid game, right? It's not Morphling that's about to join these fights around 10 to 15 minute mark. It's no one that's supposed to be just rallying the forces around him, pushing for objectives, creating space. And if you take him down a couple of times like this, you definitely make him a much weaker foe in the mid.
See down bottom, if once the 6 is online, it's still very hard to really make plays, at least on the Morph alone for Shashlo. Obviously, up here is very much vulnerable. Solo's got to be careful. If Shashlo wants to step up with the arena and just take a kill, he'll be able to kill the Ench. No problems at all, especially with the backup of Excess Vampire. Still very much the Morph, but it's going to require an additional rotation if they want to try and knock Crewman off his game early. So he needs to just sort of see FN head over. FN, exactly. He notices no one's coming in with a haste rune and knows that there's no chance of escaping that. So back to base he goes.
This bottom lane, I don't think they have any chances of killing more. No. Unless they have some really big rotations happening here. Perhaps another additional core or some level 6. Oh, no one, however.
He's coming in with the wrap. That's getting a little bit low. Then straight up the nuke from Crewman. Dives under the tower, gets the kill.
You could see no one, as soon as he forces that TP from FN, he just continues going bottom. Yeah. Wraps around them, kill.
Yeah, very smart. Because he knows that mid's TP back to base, there's no way that FN can come in and react to my sort of move. So rather than sort of going for what a lot of mid laners would have done, I feel like, you know, you force the enemy mid out the lane, you're like, okay, I'm just going to farm mid now, it's safe. No one knows his presence elsewhere on the map is going to be much more impactful for his team.
And it's so impactful as well as they get on that Mars. They also free up that lane much more for the Morphling. I said before though, Kuman, if he's playing this game right, after you can see 2 Braid Bands, Magic Wand, Ink Drop. He is a very difficult kill. They don't have enough cash for it.
And it's even if you sort of bring your carry Gambit, if they bring the Lifestealer down here, it's still, it's not really enough to kill a Morphling. Lifestealer, it'll be interesting to see how Dream's able to sort of get his game going in the mid game. Of course, his farm is fine. You can see top network, him and FN, they're up there, holding the lead. But the question is, what can Gambit do with it? They have to team up. Dream and FN, you're going to sort of see these Rolling Thunder plays into jumping out from the Infest and killing off the target. That's the way that they've got to put the pressure on VP and not give VP the chance to keep this game open, push it on late, and allow Kuman to reach maximum potential.
They're just playing around the shrines like over here, but he has some beat.
Yeah, and he's also got backup by his side. Kuman's actually shifted over to this half of the map. I mean, he knows he can farm aggressively in the face of the Lifestealer. This is not a lane that threatens him at all. Dream, he's straight out of there. Actually, TP's out of this area, straight down to bottom. Knows that contesting a Morph in lane is not something he wants to be doing this early on. Okay, we'll try and make a move on the two, man. FN leads him with a swashbuckle. The bounces are out a couple of times. He's already shifting into straight. He's got the waveform. Rolling Through coming out. They do have the additional control. Is it going to be anywhere near close enough to kill him, though? I think will continue to keep him down low. There's a little bit of backup here. Kuman pops the stick. He will get killed off. A very tough kill for Gambit to pull off, but they do it. They knock Kuman out of the game.
And Chance is one of the fastest heroes in the game. If that spear didn't connect, Solo would have definitely gotten him. But yeah, they get the big kill. They kill off Kuman. I was just praising how he's super difficult to kill at the moment, but they find all the right spells that they needed, and there was absolutely no backup for
very nicely done. They knew that VP couldn't bring TP back up to help, and they also knew that Resolution had obviously just been forced to use Stampede, so there wasn't a defensive maneuver available to get Kuman back to safety. In Gambit, they punish it.
Dream is going for a good build here as well. Maelstrom first. Sometimes we see some Knights just rush it instantly, but if you go for phase boots, it's a little bit easier to go out the lane. Also, once you get that start off from you, real farm well.
Here we are. A good bit of set of Shashlo straight in with the spear. They're looking for first Resolution down low. Pop the stick charges. Dreams in trouble. Jumps from the creep. Infest up. Tries to heal up, but he's in trouble. As the Iron drops down the Doom. They kill off the Nate, and now they're looking for more. Shashlo and FNG. Can they turn this? There's the Maledict, the Death Lord down. FNG's going to be able to make Zark top by the looks of it. Now the rotation in as well from Vampire with the stolen plasma field, nuking him down. Finally, the kill on side. He does kick out to the Maledict. FN's now had time to turn up, and he's going to go straight for no one. Over he goes with the Rolling Thunder. Another bounce back. The surrounding Shatter doing the line up the spear. Straight into the cliff he goes. Jump forward with the shield crash. They'll burst down no one. They'll take another. The 3 for 3 at the moment in this engagement. Is if there going to be any more solos? Can he get Vampire in time? He can. Solo with the cleanup. The triple kill Ench support.
Man.
He gets the job done and makes sure the VP do come out slightly on top of that.
So he's a kind of a position 5 that really likes to be playing on these heroes that have the capability of scaling and becoming a core, you know?
Yeah.
Even though he's 5, he just got 1,000 gold. He instantly spends
and look at the XP. He's pretty much level 9. And the other cores like Dream on his Lifestealer, Resolution on his Tender, yeah, these cores are level 8.
Yep.
He's just bumped right up there in the world, sort of managing to clean up those kills, get that solo XP as the rest of his team are already dead. And as you say, this is not a bad hero. It's not like, oh, well, it's a little scary. I mean, this is a hero that really can transition to sort of having some sort of comparable core impact. It does a lot of damage.
It does a lot of damage, but at the same time, it's not the best Enchantress game. You have Maledict, you have Deathward that you have to worry about, Nyx with his Rage, also there's Mars with the Arena, obviously, so you won't be able to deal the damage inside of it. Not the best hero to get all the kills and all that experience we talked about, because you'd much rather see that on no one. It's really
sure,
fight,
ideally,
right?
you want it on carry mid.
It's still alright.
But I mean,
he feels.
I was going to say, Solo's not complaining. He's like, all right, boys, step aside. It's time for me to come through. And a few Spronks there and a few Spronks there.
What did you think about the Agnes, by the way, about Sproink?
I don't think I've ever seen it being built.
I built it.
You did, and
awful. So
what is it? You just Sproink back?
You're just Sproink backwards, and you know, like if you can imagine Sproink, that's exactly what you do in the game. You literally move an inch. You don't. It's like half a force staff. So bad.
You know, if we see some sort of 80-minute game, you know, Roshan being killed 6 times, Agnes being dropped, then maybe one day we will see the Anti-Aghanims in a pro game. But no, definitely one of those guys that yet exist. As was never ever built. Top lane, laying down the arena, Solution and Zaya. Just Zayas does have the Doom available if he wants to drop it down for this one, as they'll surround him. In fact, Zayas, he's got more in his mind. He's actually running down FNG as well, knowing that he can leave Cashflow to be killed off by Rezo and Solo. Now FN turns up, but there's the Doom straight down. He needs help, and he's going to get it to lift up as well as this Deathward. FNG, again, finding these opportunities to line up the ult and kill off the heroes and make sure the space is there for FN to back off safely, and the Doom will not result on a kill on the mid.
If you're watching that whole engagement from some, I don't know, maybe a lower skill perspective, and you're seeing that...
Oh, that sounds like me, yeah.
No, just zoning them away. It might look that way, but he had to be on Witch Doctor there. He couldn't help. First and foremost, they went on the Centaur. The reason why they didn't kill him is because even though they dropped the Maledict, Doom zoned the Witch Doctor away. Witch Doctor cannot commit the death wound, right? But then on, he knows that the cask is off cooldown again, and he can't commit onto the Mars. So he chooses Witch Doctor instead. Then Pango goes in a bit too deep, Doom gets baited, he dooms the Pango, and Witch Doctor finally has his opportunity to use that cast, Maledict and Deathward again.
Interesting to see the vision here from both teams. You saw sort of from Radiant's perspective from VP, they do see people showing in their jungle and top and mid and bottom, whereas for Gambit, they only see a hero showing up top. They didn't see any of the activity mid or bottom. Still though, they were able to move in. They're able to predict whereabouts they're hanging around VP, and they'll go straight for Solo. Solo did get the heal off, so we'll be able to counteract some of the damage from Maledict, and in fact, he will be fine. Now it looks like Gambit are deciding they've got to get out of it. VP's been given time to TP in, backups inbound, unless they can find a good arena opportunity. Cashflow, he wants to drop the ult here. He can catch out. He's heading straight for no one. Will manage to catch him, but no, the choice is there. The ult is complete for no one. He can break that combo, avoid it. A stolen Zoom is thrown down by Vampire onto no one, but no one is tanky enough that he can wait enough to back off. And in fact, he's already starting to move back in as he knows that his team, they can continue to fight through this. There's no arena now as he's just walking straight forward. You can tell that this man was doomed as he's showing no fear whatsoever as no one just charges over straight towards FNG. FNG goes to the pass down, another spear. The setup there, it's a Cashflow lockdown and no one will fall. He went too far, but now there's the extra core backup. Kuman zips across with a waveform, and BP will clean up too for the loss of their mid. You
could really think that they charged in as that Arena was used, that word was used as well, Maledict, and they thought, all right, we have Stampede, we can go in and out easily. But you have to respect the new potential on the side of Gambit. FN on that Pango is just killing them easily. So even though you're a Razor, you're tanky, you can't really rush him the way he did.
Nah, we're still yet to really see the full potential of FN's damage output with the Swashbuckler. Because he didn't go the Javelin, he's going for that straight Diffusal Blade Rush, and he's pretty much got it. 200 gold away, Diffusal's going to be out. You said it, you know, already just with the Rolling Thunder capabilities, Defin's been doing a lot in the fight. You add a Swashbuckler with the Diffusal effect, it hurts super bad. Anytime that FNG gets a Maledict down, FN's able to clip someone with a Swashbuckle, that's going to be the majority of your health pool gone over the duration of the fight, unless Solo's able to get in and offer those heals to sort of offset that damage that's been done. Mid lane, Kuman getting aggressive, zips over, looks towards Excess Vampire. Vampire's got the movement speed, though. Into the fog, into the trees, he'll be fine. However, he does find FNG on the side of things. He's got a cut to throw out. There'll buy space for Kuman to just zip past, though, and get immediately into the face of the Witch Doctors. Kuman is getting involved, and he's pushing in on this tier 2, 17 minutes in. This Morphling is not afraid to fight. He's 3-1 and 2, very active this match.
You don't need wards when Solo is so tanky on this Enchantress. He invested that 1,000 gold that he got in that first engagement, that triple kill, into 2 bracelets and a wall. And now, all he's doing, I don't know if you notice his positioning, he's just in front. He's just baiting spells. They use 1 or 2 spells and they reveal themselves. Instantly after Morphling, it's easy for him to win, as he knows there's no lift. If there's no lift, they don't have control.
VP starting to slowly climb ahead in that speed, and that Morph sitting at the top, it is very scary for Gambit. Yeah, there's still kill potential if they can somehow chain stun Kuman up. In terms of defensive plays, it is just a Stampede, the heal from Solo, no sort of hard dispel that his team can offer him to get him out of sort of chain stun situation. But Gambit's got to find the opportunity to execute that, and it's not easy. But VP, as long as they can make sure that Kuman never gets sort of caught out alone, this Morph is a very free Morph game.
Also thinking about Rubik right now and how much he can do. Obviously, Nyx is almost on top of the network. They're neck and neck with the Morphling, right? He's doing this part well, but he's not the preferred hero when it comes to this matchup, Morphling versus Nyx. Now, I'm looking at support. So you have Witch Doctor, you have Rubik. And Excess Vampire, he's been amazing today, at least in this Rubik. He's done a lot in other series. Perhaps he can do as much in this game, because later on he offers a lot of control, especially versus the Morphling. And they're gonna need
around mid, Gambit getting deep, no one in Rezo. All by the time that Rezo's going to jump in and look to start things up. Towards him, drop down the arena. Shaco's scared though. Sides and him the wraparound. Does have to Doom available if he wants to drop it, but FXG again just lays down the Death Ward. It kills the shot before he gets a chance to throw down the ultimate. Now FX's turn up, goes in with the Swashbuckle. Kuman's trying to get in there as long as Resolution gets the 2-man stun into the double edge. Dream turns towards Rezo. Vampire will fall. Dreamman has been stunned for now by Dream's halberd. Solo finally gets clipped out of the game by the Swashbuckle. Dream staying on the target onto Rezo. Rezo's trying to run away. Dream, he needs a few more hits to really push him off the edge. Meanwhile, Kuman is killing off the squishy hitters on the backline. Dream will finally be able to kill off that Centaur.
That's
a 2 for 2, and it's great moves, great kills for Dream. Being able to get in, kill off that Centaur. Not the easiest of kills, but it really is. Every single fight I'm seeing FNG, he's always getting the Maledicts off, and he's always getting fantastic Death Wards down. This Witch Doctor is doing so much for them as a team, and the cast as well. It's very hard for VP to sort of fight into it the way that they want to.
No, I completely agree with you. I think this Witch Doctor did a lot more than, let's say, FN on the side of Gambit. However, that whole fight was so misdirected by Virtus Pro. The way they go in, they had vision on them. Centaur jumps in, he's heroes, but he doesn't pop that stomp instantly. Razor goes in, links Nyx, but Nyx just runs out of the way because of the arena. So they already wasted 2 heroes. Centaur can't really accomplish much there. At the same time, Zad is coming from the opposite direction, but he doesn't commit with that onto the Witch Doctor. Because of that, he eats the cat, eats the Maledict, and he just dies before that doom is ever utilized.
I mean, I think you've got to... You're right. You know, this game, the Witch Doctor's doing so much, he would not feel bad dropping a Doom down on him. Shash, though, gets nuked immediately. Tries to step near the pit. VP head out, kill him off. Roshan is down to half HP, so VP are going to want to stick around and make sure they finish this up. And without Shash, though, it's hard for Gambit to do anything about it, and they know they can't. They're going to back away, allow VP the space to finish this. And now VP's lineup, they've got an Aegis on that Morphling, and a Morphling that's incredibly close to having E-Blade done on top of the Man's start.
Once he gets that E-Blade, this Witch Doctor and Rubik, they're in a world of problems, and they won't feel as good as they did up to that point. If you're Gambit, you have to be feeling so bad about that objective that you just lost, that big Roshan, because look, your team is so decent around the pit. You have Mars, you have Pango. Pango is arguably the best hero around the Rosh pit. And you just gave away that Rosh without even putting up a fight.
Exactly. Solo kill here. From the Stampede to get that extra bit of damage, but it's not enough. Kuman can't quite close the gap to help out for the kill. Down bottom, Zayt's been found alone as the three of Gambit move in. FNG, another death ward down. I sort of lost count of the times that FNG's been killing people with this death ward. It seems like he's really got it out for Zayt. There's been sort of like the third or fourth time where death ward's just been dropped down on the Doom and knocked Zayt out of the game. As you see here on the KDA, 6-5-4. Now FNG, he's hungry for blood this game.
And
you know?
he has resurrected Witch Doctor on his own. Pretty much. This hero has been dead for a really long time, and FNG is making him work again. It's also the fact that you don't see a lot of Witch Doctors right now, maybe some in qualifiers in this tournament we have seen a couple, but overall the hero isn't the most popular support. And it does catch you off guard a little. Like when you don't play versus something, even in pubs, when's the last time you saw the Witch Doctor, right?
Exactly, not
so
much.
you get caught off guard a little bit, your positioning isn't as crisp. And the damage, once it hits, you're like, oh yeah, that's what Maledict does. It doesn't feel great.
No, not at all. And G doing some great movements, some great plays on here, as you say, that's not too easy to do so. Now we're seeing the big items out. E-Blade's up for Kuman. Basher is now there for FN, so he can himself look to try and trip up maybe even the Morph. You sort of clip him with a bash on the swashbuckler, and suddenly you're able to snowball the rest of the team on top of him. This E-Blade Morph is looking scary. It's 23 minutes in. 1k lead for VP, but I really feel that with Gambit's lineup, they were hoping to come out on top of the laning stage, and they didn't. It came out even, and if anything, maybe slightly ahead for VP. So it is scary for Gambit as this game goes on. It cannot allow any mistakes to happen, otherwise this Morph will just take over the game.
I think they might have hoped to get on top of the laning stage because of the smoking, but it wasn't realistic considering what they were up against. Knights maybe could get out ahead because he's versus Centaur, but Pang, Azer and Mars in that lane, they got the, I think, maybe they played the lanes the best of it.
River, big here for VP. There were smokes up. Maybe we would have hoped for some for excess vampires going in the river. See what the rest of Gambit want to do. They are still in the neighborhood, and they could still potentially try and fight. Kuman, he is now going to start moving over to this part of the map, which is out the lane. No one's close with the BKB. The arena's been dropped, but with the BKB, Snar can simply step out there. They'll start to force back Shadow. FNG's going to try and go for the TP as Kick, and he'll make it away from the two of them. FNG will live. Cashflow also goes for the TP out, and he'll also make it away. A great disengage from Gambit. Keeps their heroes safe.
Yeah, sometimes they're too eager to use the Stampede, sometimes they just don't want to use it. If Rezo uses that Stampede in this engagement, they got 2 kills at least. They kill FNG and also they take down Mars, because he TP'd just as Doom was raising his hand to Doom.
Absolutely, yeah, that extra sort of movement speed would have allowed time to close the gap, but maybe some more defensive maneuvers. They feel strong, they know that they'd rather just save Stampede for situations when their heroes are in trouble. As Kuman starting to show off the power that he's built up on this Morph this game, just burst out Cashflow straight from the game. It didn't matter that they didn't kill him top, because they're killing him very easily in the mid. Now, that's happening to the Mars, a pretty beefy hero. You got to be worried if you're Gambit. If anyone steps a foot out of position, Kuman will nuke you out of the game.
Because you really want to be indestructible. You want to be that hero that's up front and tanking, right? But you can't do that versus Kuman.
The high ground they go. You know they have this edge. It's got to the point where the Morph is very strong, not fully driven to space. Pops the BKB, it's back and available left, and he drops the left forward, covering the kill on no. We'll bring him quite low, but they're just rolling over them. This Morph, he's got to this point. It's the point we were worried about. We said in the draft, this Morph Razor was always going to hit this timing. I mean, this, to be fair, is a little earlier than I thought it was. We're on 26 minutes in, and Kuman is just playing so perfectly aggressive. 8-1-3. I feel like VP with this lineup, they could have sort of just sat back, waited for extra items. They didn't need to do this, but they are just playing it brutally and really forcing this power of the Morphling as soon as they can. There's no hesitation. They know that they have the edge in the fights. They know how strong Kuman is, and they're not going to wait around and waste any time.
Well, once they got that edge, they just flew away pretty much. They can do whatever they want in this game, and they're doing that right now. You could see Gambit they understand in what difficult situation they are, and they're thinking out of the box. Let's lift this Razor up onto the high ground. Let's try to kill him there. But no, you just lifted the Razor with BKB and Stampede behind him. You just died.
FNG is able to force up to the high ground. He will live this time. Zayas managed to find the Doom on to FN, so he's forcing FN entirely away from Resolution. Jacko does drop down the arena in an attempt to try and escape, but the Leap Annuals combos there from Noah to start building up the damage. Jacko trying to walk off. He goes into the milestone and tries to clear into a tree. It connects, but it doesn't matter. He's got the nuke damage again. BP, they are just killing whoever they want right now. 3 dead on Gambit, and it's very hard to see how Gambit's lineup can slow this down.
Agent is out. They have 2 buybacks, and I believe XS Empire, he has his soul. So maybe with this play on 2-man, he isn't shifting.
Gotta find 2-man. Instant you're there. It's the 2-man who's on stream, got caught in this as well. He will turn the step slice steal off Resolution for the force, and the Stampede gets Rezo back out to safety. Zayas has been caught in the face. The Solo Nod, they're coming into help out. Zayas got the score 7 minutes to get out of there. Jasco will fall. They'll head over to Dream. The life steal is dead. There's 4 gone on Gambit. BP, they'll take the mid-round, and it is. It's over. They know it. They cannot play their draft from this point onwards. BP, they'll take this game on win. 28 minutes in. Gambit, they just couldn't slow it down in time.
You know what, we said that there's a lot of drama between these 2 teams, there's a lot of spice, and that Gambit might put up a fight, but they played like 5 players that knew their draft sucked, or at least they felt like they were at a disadvantage from the get-go. You're playing Nyx into Razor, into Morphling. Your mid laner is also suffering versus that Razor. Yeah, he can get kinda even on that mid lane, but that's not what you want from FN on his Pango. You want this beast that starts rotating. You could see how much he did with the low farm that he got. If he had a good laning stage, perhaps he
lineup. Plus, VP have 2 answers coming. You got to think about what are they going to be picking up here to synergize with Beast. You're very exposed right now if you misstep as Gambit. You look at this lineup right now, and Medusa just destroys them as an example. But at the same time, perhaps they're susceptible to, say, like Life Stealer Ember. So, and those are completely different hero concepts. So you're trying to prep for both scenarios and make get trapped.
Yeah. Now, we obviously don't know our mid matchup yet. I figure that Virtus Pro is the one that is going to be able to get... Virtus Pro is the one getting not last pick, as in Gambit gets last pick. Gods, you said before the series that you were going to keep an eye out specifically for FN because he has impressed you thus far. What did you think about him previous game, and would you like to see him play Pango again? Or would you like to see him?
I think Pango didn't fit the draft because they weren't going to win the game with the Life Stealer and the Pango. Void Spirit, though, that I like him on these playmakers. Like, obviously, the Bat Rider was great. I think Pango's fine for him, but didn't work because their hard carry was so hard cannoned by Rick.
Yep.
So if they're actually, it looks like, going to use their last pick of the draft for their safe lane carry, which is kind of unusual. You just use their mid lane, but I think that's fine because it means they guarantee, like, FN can be on that making whatever hero because their safe lane carry is going to be able to win them the game.
Yeah.
Last game, that wasn't possible.
They feel like there's enough options still in the pool Dream that they can warrant just picking.
A lot of carries have been banned, though.
They have.
We could see some conventional carries coming up.
Life Stealer's still in the pool. And actually, this is one of the few games where Troll is ignored.
You don't want to play it into AA, because you just get ice blasted in your ultimate.
But unless you're on the same team as the AA.
Sure. It's a potential last pick. The relationship against Beastmaster is kind of weird, though, because you get that BKB Pierce ultimate. Same time, though, Troll lanes well against them. You can kill boars easily.
Dire team back.
Anti-mage.
Oh, God.
I'm not a fan of this series.
It's terrible.
It seems very weak, except for those, like, okay, it's a perfect AM game, and it's maybe like 10th pick, so they can't counterpick it.
Well,
they get to pick a carry that there's a lot of carries that match up.
Yes.
And this is not exactly the perfect AM.
Correct, but the thing is, you don't have tools to win the game right now. You've got to address this AM now, and you don't have tower push. So it's effectively just like the Centaur that's going to be leading the charge on towers. So you need something that matches up well, that also threatens structures and...
Yeah,
now,
go ahead, Chief.
Well, the draft that they had in the first game against Nigma yesterday had an Enchantress, it had a Shaker, it had an Anti-Mage, and as their mid, it had a Shadow Fiend.
Yeah.
There you go.
I really like this.
Same one. Apart from Timbersaw, it replaced by Beastmaster in this.
I really like this draft personally because both their safe or their off laner and their mid laner benefit from the Shaker's presence. You can threaten both of those lanes. They're just super strong heroes, and TB, that's your anti-mage counter, super hard counter to the Beastmaster, but to pick SF Shaker with no stage, this is the concern I had because, yeah, sure, you can pick a matchup against the AM, but you had too many holes in the draft, so this anti-mage pick is like this now just gaping line that you've got to fix, you've got to address him, but now you just have a weaker draft.
And even this mid lane feels like a weak point because this SF versus Void Spirit matchup was the exact one we saw yesterday as well, I think, where Weeha on the... Weeha's Void Spirit got dumpstered by an SF.
Yeah, because it's the magic damage that's the true threat, not the shields not enough effect.
And no one is like one of the top 3 SFs in the world. This guy is insane on this hero.
I had the misfortune of queuing into him a while back. I was a little rusty. He was on a Smurf, didn't know it was him. I played TA, counterpicked the Shadow Fiend. Yeah, I got absolutely rolled. That man is a beast on the SF.
He really is. We're going to see if he can deliver again. We saw him win twice with that Shadow Fiend yesterday. Can he do it against FN's Void Spirit? We're going to find out with ODP.
Thank you very much, Chiva. Yeah, looking at this one, this draft, I got to be honest, Lizard, I'm really liking what VP's got once again. As the panel said, they've got 4 of the same heroes when they ran a similar draft the other day. They have some great straight-up counters. SF versus the Void Spirit should be an easy lane for no one. And even the Anti-Mage, I think they're going to get away with it. There's a lot of focus on sort of the magical effects to sort of kill him. Late game, they're not going to be able to touch him. It's going to be tough for Gambit, but I am excited because they are trying the Terror Blade. As Parker picked up upon, it is very good against AM, but this hero, it still has a lot of other issues, right? Terror Blade is not in a great place right now.
He's not in a great place, but what they're trying to do, what they're attempting to do at least, is just have the ball and play make all the time and set the tempo of the game. With Terribly, it does allow you to do that. It allows you to start pushing. But I have to completely agree with you. Owen was saying during the draft, we were sitting here, we were watching them. The moment Void Spirit was picked, he was like, why don't they go SF?
I mean,
and they did.
Like, you've got to imagine that Gambit knew the SF was coming, because there's no way, unless you just didn't watch yesterday's games, that you're like, well, we're going to pick Void Spirit. They're not going to pick. Of course they're going to pick SF. They're going to pick SF every single time that you sort of present a Void Spirit mid as your fourth pick.
They have multiple reasons why it's good. Not only does it crush a Void Spirit in the lane, not only that you can itemize in many different ways to complement your AAM and his power spikes. It's also that you're playing with this Shaker, you're playing with the Beastmaster. You have so many things that are going in your favor. You have, obviously, Beastmaster with the Aura that's going to benefit you, but also Shaker with any rotation, with that Fissure, can threaten Void Spirit. He is very elusive, but versus that SF, I have a feeling that FN is playing an unfavorable matchup once again.
And we'll see what he can do with it. Obviously, we're sort of going very much... I mean, even sort of ignoring the No One versus Weehard game where the SF destroyed the Void Spirit, I still think overall the hero... No one is going to have a good lane against you. You've got to try and make it up by making the plays happen. Something that Weehard was unable to do on the Void Spirit. Let's see if FN can do it in this game, as he's going to have to really step it up. He's not going to have an easy start to the match. So the potential of him coming out the laning stage with sort of those early items is pretty low. He's going to have to find them in the kills, or at least get some ganks coming in on the mid lane. He's got to look for sort of Excess Vampire to come in, maybe set up with a Telekinesis, and see if between that and the pull of the Remnant, they can burst No One down.
It's not going to be easy, but at the same time, Void Spirit is that sort of a hero that can just dominate after he gets that level 6, if he gets it fast enough. So, if you're FN right now, it's kind of the same feeling like in that first game. Just get your level 6 as soon as possible and start making moves on them.
Kuman did opt to take the level 1 blink there to try and grab the bounty rune. Wasn't able to do so. Shashlo still picks it up, so I think Shashlo's going to be quite happy with that. Knows that he's not necessarily going to have his mana burn early on. I guess at the same time, at level 1, he's not really going to be using that mana anyway. So we'll see sort of how this lane goes on and if Solo is able to make this sort of a safe space for Kuman. I feel against the two of these heroes, it's... I mean, how do you sort of see this? Obviously, Shashlo, he can give him a good beat here. If he steps up, pops to retaliate, he is going to punch that anti-mage pretty hard.
Yeah, I think this lane is much harder for VP than that first one with Morphling. I think this lane, Rubik and Centaur overall are just so strong. And then you're playing into an anti-mage who isn't truly that great in the lane. He never was a great laner. One lift into stun, into retaliate, he can drop very low. Maybe not kill potential, maybe they don't have a lot of kill potential on the side of Gambit, but they definitely will threaten, and it's Vampire here.
He's been chased by Solo. Solo's got enough impetus. It is. That's first blood for Solo. He was killing it last game, and he's killing it already this game. 1 minute in, first blood for the Itch.
Right, that's not something that's really happened. That was a solo kill from the Enchantress.
Good block off here. They'll be able to do quite a bit of damage to Dream. He's got to take that long walk around the Fissure. He's being slowed by the boar. They'll stay on top of them now and turn their attention towards FNG, but already we're seeing the threat of this dual lane. Zayas and Resolution getting aggressive very early on. He's going to have Fissure back up again in a second, but FNG and Dream will be able to get underneath the tower. Still, though, you're seeing these heroes, they're going to be ready to run you down. This is not an easy lane for Dream to farm.
That Fissure did break the creep wave in half, and because of that, Gambit does have 2 ways pushing in, but he's going to eat a lot of damage here because of that, actually. I thought that for him, but now he's on 50% again after using that style.
It just feels like an AA is how much can FNG do to sort of help Dream in this lane. It feels like, as Carl was saying on the panel, you know, once the boars are up, Resolution's going to be just diving and running this poor old AA out of the lane.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Bottom lane, you can see them diving behind the tower a little bit, creep skipping, while the creeps are dying under the tower. So Kuman needs to get there immediately.
Gonna head up. That does miss a couple of them, but we'll be able to pick up the main ones and make sure that he's there back in time to secure the range creep. Mid lane matchup at the moment, 11 for 2, 11 for 1. I've got to say this is impressive stuff from FN. He's using the nukes very nicely, using that pulse to secure TS when he can, but he's got to be aware of these raises.
Now, so far he has been, and 13-1, it's in even matchup so far. Yeah, he has 2 more denies, but FN has done exceptionally well in this second game. In that first one as well, he's playing versus a Razor, but he uses his fourth buckle well, and he finds CS. This game around, it seems like he's doing a very similar thing.
Top lane, and this is the threat of the Beastmaster, just running them down. AA's gone, Dream is also going to take a severe beating from the two of them. This is not sort of a happy place to be. Still managing to CS in that top lane, but his life's being fed and bottom. Chase down onto Vampire, tries to back off to get that impetus damage distance, but it's not enough to kill him.
Just going to suicide. Or just run back, yeah, I'm gonna run back.
Shashlo, quite a bit of damage with the retaliate, but Kuman's able to keep it safe. The big creep wave is going to be coming in underneath his tower, so Kuman should be able to pick this one up quite nicely. Top lane, again getting aggressive. The Fissure blocking off Dream. Rezo's trying to chase him down. Dream's trying to run. One more hit will do it. Rezo this time finds the big one.
They kill the carry on the top lane. They might take down FNG if the blocks are good. And they also killed Centaur on that safe lane.
And the blocks, they play with the fairy button. Now Rezo, he's diving this one. He's definitely going for that double kill for Rezo.
You can really see that he understands what he needs to do on this lane. He bought an Orb of Venom, and because of that and the board slows, he's able to run these heroes down. Even though Dream has a lot of armor, he still can't sustain that amount of damage. But let's be real.
Not Dream.
Terrorblade. Oh.
He's come back into the lane. I mean, Rezo's just immediately going to start chasing him down again. He's going to need sort of all the regen in the world to help sustain himself against this aggression from VP. I mean, he may even be dead, but Zayat's clarity up. Dream, he's blocked him off a little bit with the illusion, and that will actually be enough to keep him safe, but he's still being forced right away from the lane, or maybe it won't. The Hawk's out. Rezo's got the vision. Zayat can lay down the Fissure, and they are just bullying the hell out of this Terrorblade. Dream's trying to run, cut his way to safety. He will live, but VP, they're forcing him so far away from the lane.
Exactly, that's so much time wasted for Dream. He might have just as well been dead for this whole time. As he didn't approach the creep wave, he got 0 experience and 0 CS.
And look at where Rezo's standing. He's just making sure that Dream cannot get back towards the tower and soak up the XP from those creeps dying to it. FN's now starting to make the movement, so Remnant, it wasn't in an attempt to kill, it was just making sure that the bounty rune would be secured. And it will work in that sense. FN's able to bottle up the bounty rune, but definitely all eyes on FN. He's bottom lane, Kuman.
Dire's middle tower
will blink out at the last minute. But yeah, FN, I really feel in this matchup, he's done well for what the matchup is. This is, as we've seen before, Void Spirit can get absolutely destroyed in this lane. He's kept it even, so he has had this start where he will be able to make moves and try and help out his team in these side lanes and look for action.
He just needs to get that level 7 as soon as possible so that he has that max out nuke and also his ulti so that he can perhaps threaten the AM or the top lane. Taking down that Beastmaster and alleviating that pain that's coming on the top lane could help out the Terrorblade quite a lot. Thing is, when you're playing Terrorblade versus Anti-Mage, you want Terrorblade to have a decent laning stage so that he can start pushing lanes. But so far, that has not been the case.
They've got to do something about no one, because this is the point where you really start to see the offset. 40-11 against 26 for 2. The gap's being created. This is not a gap that FN's going to be able to close just by laning against the SF. No one's going to be able to bully him out of the lane single-handedly right now. He needs support back up. Bottom lane, bit of a play being played onto Shashlo. His man has been burnt. He's trading back hits with the retaliate. Kuman does have to be a bit careful. One more hit, and he would have been dead, but Kuman pushes himself to the limits perfectly, allows the time for Solo to continue to beat down on that Centaur and kill him off once again.
That was all enabled by the Wildkin and the Tornado that was all over that Centaur. He wasn't really able to run back because it slows him so much. Anti-Mage baited him in for a couple of extra hits and they take down the kill. Such a perfect way to kill him. They've done that twice now. It's not only about understanding the hero and its mechanics, it's also about understanding the player that's on that hero and what he's about to do if he senses that he can kill him.
Zayat, get a smoke sent out. He may be about to see Zayat get active, may look to head over, sort of help no one find a kill. You know, no one's very strong right now. Any sort of lockdown on his opponent in the mid lane if FN's still hanging around, which is for now. FN's still focusing around the mid lane. Does now start to shift towards top. Maybe sees if he can catch someone out, maybe potentially find one of the supports alone, but...
This which should have scouted him, yeah, the Radiant Ward on those stairs, and now they back off.
And this is, you know, time potentially wasted. FN gonna have trouble really getting a hold onto either of these heroes with themselves.
He has to go back
under the tower.
He has to go back mid because of no one. He's just pushing in.
Oh, now Vampire. Vampire was starting to come across to maybe help if something was going to be there from FN. They're a little scared of going on it because FN does actually stick around. He was TPing back to mid but cancelled it. But when he saw Excess Vampire being gone upon, We'll keep his Rubik safe, but still, and now he's got to walk back to mid, so it's even more painful really for FN.
It is. Then again, if you're FNG, you might be satisfied with that time that you just got on the mid lane to get some solo experience. I think for Gambit, these two supports do a lot when they're ahead. And when you're behind, you need to create some space for them to get those level 6s, right? Your Rubik is level 3, minute 8. It's not great. He needs something more. Same goes for AA. AA comes online once he gets that level 6. So just giving some more space, some more experience.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Team mid starting to play around with the Zentor solo. Leading in, see if he can catch out FN. FN will keep himself safe. Trying to poke back at them, but you're seeing now at 8 minutes in, early on, the 3 cores of VP taking the lead. They've come out on top of these lanes. And quite like game 1, it's going to be hard for Gambit to pull off plays from behind. Kuman to bring up health. Those Wraith bands now very much safe to be left alone. We saw there, you know, Solo starting to move towards mid. He knows that this anti-mage against the center alone, he's fine to be left. Kuman can continue to soak up the farm.
He knows that they can't take him down until that minute 10. Once that minute 10 comes, you will have a tome, you'll probably have AA with 6, and then perhaps anti-mage can die. Before that happens, you're free to do whatever you want on that enchantress. You can farm, you can zone, you can just stay in the jungle. Another thing that people like to forget about Ench is her second spell had so much damage on that creep that you can just take one creep and send him in the woods and he can clear camps on his own. Look at that, 19 plus 30 damage.
Yeah.
If you take a big creep, that's it's easy to blast it.
Up. Now still continue to just mess with them, making all the space in the world for no one to have a dream time as his SF just hovering around that mid lane, the neutral camps around it, continue to maximize his farming.
Forces the meta as well.
Dire's
They're just cleaning the necros up.
Sort of again secure this bounty rune here. As FN, secure. He doesn't want to step forward. He feels a little scared. Lets it go. They lose themselves. Their G will fall. FN got to back out. He should still have extra mobility. He does. W's up. Doesn't get him up to the high ground, but will get him far enough away to keep himself safe. But still, it's rough, right? You've got this Void Spirit. It's 10 minutes in. FN still hasn't been able to find any sort of impact anywhere on the map.
He found the bounty rune there. That's why he zipped in. He zips in, steals the bounty rune, and just dissimulates away. So it's not really great finding a lot of things to do on the map, but that's not only because of him. It's because of these supports that were weak before. Now when A is 6, perhaps Void Spirit can set up some things on.
Let's see what Gambit can do here. They smoke up. They've got to find something with this. Got to find some sort of way of breaking down VP's strengths. No one in the mid lane. He's the focus. Zayat is going to be there to back him up behind. Fish is out as soon as they jump in there. Popping the Stampede. The Remnant will grab him back, but Zayat, he just walks in. He's set up perfectly for a 2-man stand. The Requiem pushes them away. Zayat is still alive, gets the stick out, and now back up Sid. The Ice Blast is flying over. Will not tip onto Zayat. Zayat will live. Shashna will fall, as well as FNG. Exit Vampa is able to pick up Solo. It is Gambit trying to make a play, and it did not end up in a good all for them, especially with Kuman heading over and helping no one clean up a double kill. A 3-for-1 trade in favor of VP off the back of a Gambit smoke. Gambit, they are struggling to slow VP down once again.
Yeah, before we break that fight down, let's just speak about Kuman and this guy. He's playing an anti-mage. How many players do you see join a fight this early on with an AM? And for good cause, he gives his SF another kill. They clean the Rubik up as well. Very well played by him.
Yeah.
But that whole team fight, I was saying they need to do these moves, they need to start rotating, but at one point it becomes telegraphed because it's too slow. And you see these two supports, they're missing on the lanes, you know it's a 10-minute mark, you know AA got his 6 because of that, and you just set up Zayat near that nest. He doesn't have to be that close. As long as he can break the fight with Fissure, that's exactly what he did.
Yeah.
He saves SF, saves himself as well, and it was easy.
Blast is thrown out. FM, and neither of them able to connect, neither FN or FNG onto Zayat, so he'll just TP out of there. Not even a scratch on him. As he leaves the area. Gambit, they brought 4 heroes down. They've got to find something. They will find a tier 1 tower, but it just feels slow. And every minute that this game goes on, VP's speed just continues to grow greater.
They're one step ahead. Look, you know, Solo understands that this tower is about to fall. That's why he plans that ward. He has another one next to his shrine, and he will have that deeper jungle, Radiant jungle secured for whoever wants to be there. Most likely, it will be Solo, because the rest of them can split push. Anti-Mage farming the jungle, Beastmaster with the Necros, and SF just pushing harder than the whole team is.
Taking tier 2 towers here at 13 minutes. VP, they're just sort of masters of getting away with these heroes that, especially like an anti-mage lineup, in an incredible fashion. I mean, this game, it really was down to the fact that their mid lane and top lane was so solid. Having this pressure being put on by the Beastmaster, Shaker top, they played that dual lane perfectly, Rezo and Diet, and mid lane. I mean, we knew it as soon as we saw the Void Spirit. SF was going to be picked, and no one was going to have a great opening 10 minutes to the game because of that easy matchup for him to play.
I'm just standing here. Yeah, they have Hawks, yeah, they have these wards, but I'm amazed by the ease of execution from Virtus.pro when it comes to playing this strategy. And these wards are just allowing them to play the map the way they want to. Solo, he's here, but he has 2 bracers, Raindrop, Magic Wand. Even if you go on him, even if you get this kill, he's fine with it. You might kill him, but he knew exactly what he was running into. There's so much space created by the side of Virtus.
As you say, it's a kill on the Enchantress, but not a kill that feels good. They need way more than a solo kill right now. They've got to find Nolan, they've got to find Kuman, and all 3 cores are just spiraling out of control, and Gambit seem unable to make any sort of move onto them. Nolan, Resolution, and Kuman are continuing to have an entirely unhindered game.
FNG is a great captain, but he's maybe not as strong as Solo in this matchup, and he needs to think outside of the box, how to get to this SF, how to get to Anti-Mage, because just taking control of the Radiant jungle, then rotating to mid tier 1, it just didn't work out. Those normal plays, they don't work.
I mean, it feels like for the most part of this game, we've just seen Gambit, the 3 or the 4 of them just trying to run at heroes. It's not working. They're not getting these kills. No one. And I've got the Fisher block out. No one's trying to get in a position to knock him back, but Shashto will escape with the Stampede. They'll turn towards Dias, try for the Shaker instead. He's frozen up by the cold feet and will fall. They'll get the Shaker. Again, it's a support kill. The cores of VP are able to get out of there.
Was that Roar snatched by XS Vampire? I believe he took a good... Yeah, he's got Roar. That's one of the reasons why they fell back so early on, even though Enchantress was coming from the other side. They just understand. Also, one of the raises missed of the tower. Good defense by Gambit.
They can catch Rezo here. It's been a while since they've been able to take down Core, but now Rezo will be found alone. It will finally manage to take one of these big old cores out of the game as Rezo is isolated, killed off. Now that is one that Gambit can celebrate, but that is certainly not no one. Kills off Dream.
On his own.
On his own, the Yules combo, it does it. It blows up the Terror. Of course, Terrorblade very, very weak to magic damage with that low HP. And SF with a Yules, it's going to do that. And that's the worry. You know, Terrorblade is the only hero really decently on Gambit's side, and he's getting solo kill.
Yeah, it's a difficult situation to be in if you're Gambit. Like, you want to be making these aggressive moves, but if you're making these aggressive moves, you can't commit an extra hero to babysit Terrorblade, right? You can't have this Rubik just sitting around him, waiting to lift the SF if he initiates. And because of that, Dream just farms a little bit out of position, and it's an easy pickup for no one.
That blink Yules finished at an incredibly quick timing, 16 minutes. You know that no one, he's feeling himself right now. He knows the strength that he has. He is ready to sort of style and dance around Gambit's heroes.
All these big items are coming together for Pro. You can also see that Shaker is just 200 gold away from his blink. Actually, he just got it with that one fissure and the creep wave committed. Like, he gets the blink dagger.
So hard for Gambit to fight this. They've got to try and look for some sort of weakness of VP. Mid lane, no one without any hesitation jumps in, looks to set up on Vampire. Vampire will be able to use the stolen Roar and get himself up to safety. So we'll stop no one from being able to execute the combo. Does not mean they don't have that Roar to use aggressively. In the jungle, FN will burst, nuke down Solo. Now he's going to try and run, use the W to get away, but they'll find him. Rezo sticks up with the Roar. FN will fall as VP. They're just starting to run Gambit down. They know how strong they are right now, and they know that Gambit is nowhere near prepared for VP running at them.
You really don't want to be running after the Enchantress. Solo is just so defenseless. Throwing about the dark jungle, you know, dying to the Void Spirit, but Void Spirit used both of his ultimate charges for that. And because of that, SF just follows up, there's the Roar as well, and FN dies. And he's a much, much bigger kill than the Enchantress, obviously.
And it's this whole game, you know, Kuman, he's chilling. He's farming. They'll look for setup. See if they can burst no one with the ice. He's going to bring it down low. He looks to rev up the op, but they'll kill him. A huge kill finally found by Gambit, as they will take the SF out of the game.
And that's really what they needed. Also another pickup, another good pickup from this Vampire. That was a fish there that helped them out. I think this is a pretty good Rubik game when you think about it. There's a lot of spells. The Blink from AM is easy to steal and it's super good for you. There's also the Fissure, the Roar.
And the River Solo, he tries to poke at this outside of Invis, but there's backup there for FNG. Solo still alive, actually. They don't quite kill him off. The Fissure's out. Solo is still living. He's banging away. He's going to survive this. And now VP, they could turn on them. They're trapped in as well. The Fissure's blocked them in. Vampire tries to TP out. They've got the damage to kill him off before he gets away. As they'll chase on. FNG is in trouble. Zayat got Fissure back up once more. Jashlo does jump in, goes for the but the Echo Slam's available. He's only just gone and killed himself as well. FN will slide across to try and get something in return, but he gets nothing. VP, everybody lives. Gambit lose 3. And Solo survives. I mean, they saw it, and you can't blame them, right? Solo reveals himself. They feel that they could just get a quick kill on the Enchantress. At this point, they're not even killing the Eng.
Especially because they had that Fissure on Rubik as well. You have the A ulti, you can commit onto her, but they don't use every single skill. Because of that, there's the follow-up from the Shaker. He blocks them out with Fissure. He resets the fight once again, and then it's much easier for VP to just chase them down. That stomp into Ice Blast was also pretty good imagined by Gambit, but it didn't work because A also didn't have enough mana to follow up with anything else, so they didn't even have enough damage to kill off the Shaker.
Ice Blast comes in a little late. Roshan's already dead and Kuman's already grabbed the Aegis. They couldn't get there in time, Gambit. 16-7, 6k ahead, Aegis in their hands. VP's game just continues to right itself in a very, very nice way.
In one of the previous games, the panel also talked about Terrorblade and why he's weaker against all these illusion heroes that like to buy Diffusal Blade. And even though he is a natural counter in a way that Reflection used to be very strong against him and you could push earlier, it's not the same anymore. And if he gets on top of you, and if you lose all your mana, you're able to use it.
Mount Battle Fury done on Kuman. I don't know how you trap this man down. He's going to be able to blink out pretty much every single time if they got him. And it really just is the fact that it's not just one core that you're worried about. Gambit, it's both the SF and AM that are looking incredibly scary right now.
And no one did itemize in this pick-off kind of play, right? He has Yules, he has Blink Dagger, so he won't be that super right-clicking, crazy SF. It comes late per game, but still, he is a big pressure right now. He is a hero that just dominates the map, and you have to hide and run from him.
Desk2 is done on FN, so now that additional potential with the combo. There's a lot of physical damage there from the actual step of that alongside the Chrysalis. He can do the damage, but to do so, he has to kind of get in on the front lines, and that's when he's in danger as Zayat sort of appearing and chain stunning him down with the combo.
Yeah, the thing is, he went for that insta-crit and dazzle, like you just mentioned, but no Yules, no resetting tools, and because of that, if he gets clipped by any two of these damage...
Gonna stampede to try and lean in. Solo's there on the front line, so jump across, they will find resolution. BKB's downstream, so he can pot the BKB in the mech. Commits the kill on the Beastmaster, will find it. The rest of VP, they'll wait it out, kite out, Dreams BKB. Solo's running away. FN's going to try and chase through. Goes for the TP out. He's not going to make it away. FN able to lay down the Remnant in time. Solo pops the Essence Ring. They'll take a bit of a beating, but they'll finally be able to push him over the edge. Vampire takes the kill with the Fade Bolt. Gambit, they'll get 2.
I think they committed that BKB as well as the meta, and because of that, perhaps VP is all right with this. Once the meta is down from Dream, you should expect a comeback attack from Virtual. Zayat, you can see he's already hiding in the woods there.
If there was anyone else nearby, you know that he would have loved to jump that. He has that level 2 Echo. And Terrorblade was hovering around the creep wave, but he was entirely on his own at the moment. The rest of EP continue to make space. The map, Kuman's farm, he's getting further and further ahead.
He's getting tankier and tankier. He's not going Butterfly Basher, nothing like that. He's going for that Manta Battle Fury Skadi. He also has the Pupils gift, so such a good item to get on an Agile hero. They gave the Imp's Claw to Zayat for that crit on Totem. On the first
very nice.
Yeah.
Having that guaranteed percentage buff on the already buffed up totem damage, it hurts. Maybe not so much towards the TB because he's got a lot of armor, but any other hero is going to take quite a beating from the Shaker.
Some support, perhaps an A. If you get on top of FNG, you can pretty much blow him up as a Shaker.
Not easily. The Imp Claw, no questions asked.
Scanning.
You can see this smoke is well read by Gambit because they're sending these DB illusions around. They're also hiding around that safe space of theirs, this ward. They're scanning the other cliff that's closest to them around that shop. So they know exactly what Pro is doing. Very well read.
Wave away from BKB, no one. And look at the walls, Kuman, but the prospects of killing him once and let alone twice aren't great.
Also, you don't know where everyone else is, and because of that, you're like, we can jump in, but we know that they smoked up before. They still aren't showing on the map. It's a difficult choice to go for, a difficult call, very.
It's the focus. They're trying for the jump. If they can take him down the once, they're bringing him low. Manta's pop and tries to blink out. The Remnant is there to control him. They'll kill off the Aegis. And they do it again, though. It doesn't look like they feel that they can. They'll back away. They don't want to try and fight off more than they can shoot. They'll just accept the Aegis kill. Maybe they can try and get on top of someone else. There's the block off from Science, but stops the chase. Solo, you see him just posturing aggressive. He starts to run into the faces of Gambit. Chancellor will attempt to jump forward and go for the hook stop, but he's been roared, stunned up. There's the jump from Science. He's locking down the Central and the Terrorblade. Chancellor will fall. Dream will pop the Metamorphosis in an attempt to turn things around. With his BKB, he's stepping forward. They kill off Solo. They head towards Science. They'll get the two supports. Double kill for FN.
Two really good kills for Gambit. You did commit meta again without taking the jungle.
And no one knows. Straight in onto FN. Now that they know that they cannot fight on, the BKB's gone on Dream. Kuman blinks out once again to kite him up. He gets 4 dead on Gambit. Dream's last one alive. There's no BKB, no meta left for him to fight back. As it's a team-wide VP. They are cruising through Gambit this series. Both games, their draft has just been uncontested. They've gotten away with everything. The lane execution's been perfect. And we're seeing, like, again, last game was a 26-minute victory. This one's going to be pushed a little longer, but it feels once again incredibly hard for Gambit to do anything right now with the lead VP have.
Yeah, I think that last teamfight is just representative of the whole game and the matchup of the Shaker goes in, uses Echo on 2 heroes on Centaur and Terrorblade, and he baits out the lift, most importantly. The moment that lift and A ult is used, Kuman instantly pounces on the backlines. He takes down the supports, he helps out with the Terrorblade as well, and the teamfight looks very easy for Virtus.pro when in fact they executed. Orb of Destruction as well for Anti-Mage, pretty good.
All right, yeah, take that on top of the Skadi, you know. That's, yeah, good luck trying to run away from that man when he's on top of you. For his Butterfly next, I mean, it's not only just the farm that's incredible for Kuman, it's the experience as an anti-mage, just finding so much solo place to farm. Level 23 at 26 minutes in. Is, you know, there's no doubt about it. Kuman's carry performances here on VP have been spectacular. And this current VP squad, you know, they made a lot of changes in some questionable ways, but overall it's looking pretty hot for them here on LAN. VP's current lineup, there's definitely some magic about it.
There's a bunch of talking in the CIS scene. They're asking if, on the forums, you can see a lot of people asking if Doom will stay or not. And they understand that he's just a stand-in for now.
He's making a great case for himself.
Definitely.
He really is it. Sliding into sort of the VP's lineup very nicely. The communication, the sort of the way that they approach the game, it seems to fit perfectly with Kuman's play style. The hero picks, he's showing to be incredibly comfortable on them as a carry play. Knows, as sort of Carl mentioned earlier, you would hope, you know, Morph, AM, but he's playing them pretty flawlessly.
He's been around. He's been around for a while now. People kind of forgotten about him as he's in the CIS in these tags that aren't really working out. that rate, aren't really qualifying for anything, but he was always a really, really good carry player.
Gambit.
Telescope on the Enchantress as well, such a great... It's that and Enchanted Fury, but I might not save her though.
Alright, a quick kill. They are losing a bit of the base though. Tier 3 being pressured here.
Just a little bit of... It's that tier 3, not important.
Oh, on the high ground, no one's there waiting. Fisher's outside, jumps in, he's locking them down perfectly here with the full combo on the egg, but there is the time for Dream to still get off the BKB. Immediate blink out for no one, gets himself to safety, dies, he's able to force away. That's the BKB forced out, and Dream cannot find the kill with it.
What about top?
The base
What's happening?
is still getting
dying,
hit.
maybe?
Tier 3's gone. Kuman gets jumped upon silence, but Amanta removes it and he's out.
Yeah, that whole fight there, Virtus Pro, they did commit a couple of big spells, but so did Gambit, and Gambit lost the tier 3 as well. So, you're happy with that, you're playing 4 versus 5, you're taking objectives and you're forcing their rotation. You could see how impactful that telekinesis is. Like when people talk about Rubik, all they say is this laning stage, that Fade Bolt is just crazy. You're hit with that Fade Bolt as a carry and you just want to cry. You have -1,000,000 damage, but later on in the game, the supremacy, right? Plus telekinesis, you're just stunned forever.
Yeah. Well lifted up and held there for quite some time.
He's got his blink as well, stolen from Anti-Mage, so he's able to just move around the map, doesn't even have to commit for that blink, can buy something different.
Gambit trying to get over onto VP's half of the map once more. They're out hunting. I mean, it feels like so many of these movements have just resulted in sort of solo dying. VP have been very calculated with how they've lost their heroes this game. As there's the jump. Rezzo will be found out it's only a bigger one. Dragged straight back into the ice blast, so Rezzo's actually able to turn, get the rock, and Rezzo, he can walk away from this. They weren't able to commit. VP's been given time to get in. Shaxlow gets destroyed by Kuman. As Gambit are just forced to back off once more, no one blinks in. Does get stunned up by the stolen roll. FM with the BKB is trying to burst no one down. Opportunities there for no one approach the BKB. Kuman, he's just cleaning them up in the backlines. It's a triple kill for him. Jumps over to Dream. There's a place. It really is. This series, it was one bit GG as VP. They're on another level. Gambit did not stand a chance, or I mean, maybe they didn't give themselves a chance. They felt a little off, very rough to play. We saw it in this game too. They went in for this Void Spirit, revealing it. SF comes out. No one knows that he's going to have a free and easy game. And Kuman, he's given a beautiful playing ground to, you know, he did it on the Morph, he does it on the AM. He makes it look easy.
I actually really love this last play from Gambit. This last play was really good, but it should have been done maybe 15 minutes earlier. That's how you play versus Anti-Mage. You have to go to their side, you have to be playing on their side of the map using those metamorphoses aggressively so that you can shrink the map for him. Take some towers, make his farming a living hell, hunt him down. But they were constantly hunted. They were the ones that were hiding on their side. They were the ones that popped that BKB and meta time after time in a defensive matter. And because of that, AM, Kuman, he's just chilling, farming, shows up with 6 slots and just owns them.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it for the qualifiers, and we're seeing it here at LAN here at the We Play